Hey everyone. So, as Christians, so often, right, we get the wrong end of the stick, right? We think we understand how God does things, but often we just miss the point, myself included, right? And it's a process for everybody, that's for sure. But it makes me remember this one thing that happened in a prayer meeting, right? God gave me a picture of a lady in a prayer meeting, and this was the picture, right? She was holding this architect's blueprint. You know, like those old school blueprints on blue paper. They're all tightly rolled, and when you try and unfurl them, they snap back shut, right? And so this is what she was experiencing. She was looking at the blueprint as like the thing, the design that God had for her to build her ministry, the direction to go in, like as all the answers that she needed, that she had in her mind, right, for building. So she wanted to get the answers so she could do the thing that God wanted her to do, right? But no matter what she did, whether she put a weight on this side of it and the other side of it, it kept snapping shut. So in the end, she was just like super frustrated and sat back in a chair, like defeated. And then this layer of like glass or something just like started to come down like this. And as it approached the blueprint, it naturally opened on its own. And then this glass just like settled down on it like this. And the lady just sat up suddenly and was able to see everything clearly, the design, right? And I took this, I told the lady about the picture and stuff, and we prayed about it. And then I took it home with me in my mind, right? And I was thinking about it a lot. And I was asking God, what's this thing that comes down from, what's this glass that's coming down from the ceiling and just alighting on this blueprint? And he showed me many months later that this was actually like the Holy Spirit coming down and alighting on the blueprint. And it also represented proclamation and declaration. And by that, I mean agreement with God in everything, right? And then God actually spoke to me another thing about the blueprint. He said, James, so many times like people come to me like I'm some kind of machine. Like we've all heard that God's not an ATM machine and all that. But often we do come to him like that, right? With our own questions, with our own plans, like how do I do this? How can I get this done? And blah, 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 right? But he said, actually, the blueprint that the lady was looking at, and the only blueprint of the kingdom, is my son, Jesus, right? He is the blueprint, right? He is simultaneously the strategy, right? And the result of the strategy at the same time, right? Now, that's a lot to get your head around, I suppose. But oftentimes as Christians, we're approaching God from the outside looking in, right? And this is what God said to me. He said, James, you're not on the outside looking in. Your placement is actually underneath the glass with my son, right? When we accept Jesus into our lives, we become one with the blueprint, one with the design. And so you see, this is how we are able, like Jesus said, you would do greater things than him. This is how we are able to do greater things than him, because we are one with him. We are sealed with the Holy Spirit. We are pressed in. We are one. We don't operate from the outside looking in, but we need to get our understanding to understand our placement is in him, with him. And remember the second bullet that went through my mind from the last thought of the week, number 13, from that vision where Jesus shot me with 3 bullets. The second bullet had presence written on it, the presence of God, right? And so often we're like struggling, I'm seeking the presence of God, like he's gone somewhere, or like we're separate from him, but we're not. We are in him already. And it's exactly what Paul said. We need to have the eyes of our understanding opened to know the fullness that we have in him, right? And I'll post in 1 Corinthians as well, in one of the comments, that we have the mind of Christ now. We've been freely given all things now so that we can do exactly what he has for us to do. We're not the outside, we're on the inside.